What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and welcome into our SG1 Sports Sim League channel. This used to be our gaming channel, but we have renamed it because this is going to be the home to our sim leagues and the college football league. If you don't know what this is, you can go to sg1sports.com and read all about it. We are basically doing a fantasy football, college football league, if you want to call it that. If you join us on Patreon, you can control a team. And at this point, we are drafting our teams. Rounds 1 and 2 are on the main SG1 Sports channel if you want to go back and watch those. But let's jump right into round 3, which will be offensive tackles and then offensive guards as these teams fill out their offensive lines. We begin with Iowa State. They'll have the first pick. Samuel Cosme, a sophomore, 91 overall. And I apologize if I get some of these names wrong. I haven't practiced these names, and some of them are pretty tricky. LSU, Panay Sewell, a sophomore, 91 overall. Tennessee, Andrew Thomas, a 98 overall. Minnesota, Walker Little, 98 overall as well. Big question mark for those two teams, those two offensive linemen. Will they be back for their senior season? If they are, imagine getting a 98 in your first year and probably a 99 in your second year. Duke gets Christian Darrisaw. Boise State, Alaric Jackson, a 95 overall. Michigan State, Tremaine Akram, a 91. Florida gets Trey Adams. Mississippi State, Alex Leatherwood. And USC, Hakeem Adeniji. 11 through 20 looks like this. Stanford getting Calvin Throgmorton. Nebraska, Jedrick Willis. Penn State, John Runyon. Alabama, Steve Nielsen. Wisconsin, Mekhi Becton. Iowa, Tristan Wirfs. Louisville, Cole Van Lannon. Georgia, Isaiah Wilson. Ole Miss, Prince Tega. Winogoho, and Florida State gets Coy Cronk. So these are 11 through 20. That Isaiah Wilson pick for Georgia, interesting one there. I think he's a guy with a really bright future, just a sophomore. That's probably the pick that stands out to me from this group. Let's move on now to 21 through 30. As again, you take a look at these picks here. That's actually the only one that was not a junior or senior. So 21 through 30, Ezra Cleveland to Boston College. Braden James to North Carolina. Oklahoma gets Lucas Niang. A 92 overall. How about a 92 overall falling to the 23rd spot? Probably because he's a senior. But Charlie Heck to Baylor. Liam Eichenberg to Ohio State. Thayer Munford to Oregon. Abraham Lucas to Purdue. Auburn gets Rashawn Slater. Colton Mikivitich, a senior, to Michigan. And Wanya Morris to Arizona State. A true freshman. 82 overall. You get an 82 overall freshman at number 30, a guy that has a chance to really be a superstar in the future. I really like that pick there in that final spot. And we go in reverse order for the guard, so that means Arizona State gets a really good pick there, and now they turn around and get the first pick for their offensive guard. And let's see who Arizona State is going to get. Another freshman, how about that? Two true freshmen, 82 overall for Arizona State. They're building a defensive line that is going to be a force in the future. Michigan gets Ben Bredson. Auburn with Tommy Kramer. Purdue gets Wyatt Davis. Shane Lemieux to Oregon. 96 overall, one of the better offensive linemen in the country. Ohio State gets John Simpson. Baylor with Trevor Wallace-Sims. A lot of seniors going here. Oklahoma with Solomon Kinley. North Carolina, Justin Pelu. And Boston College gets Logan Stenberg. And again, you look at the guards, and most of these first picks were seniors, but Arizona State going for a young freshman, as they build for the future there. That's really what jumps out to me, I guess, so far with the offensive linemen. Moving on to 11 through 20, Marcus Keys to Florida State. Navon Donaldson to Ole Miss. Parker Braun to Georgia. Louisville gets Jack Anderson. Iowa with Michael Onwenu. Wisconsin, Gus Lavaca. And again, I'm sorry if I missed some of these names. Alabama, Javon Fair. Josh Neifel to Penn State. Cole Schneider to Nebraska. And Marquel Harrell to Stanford. So I don't guess anything really jumps out too much at me with these picks. Let's see about 21 through 30 now. USC with John Malkin. Mississippi State with Sam Teckelberg. Florida with Evan Adams. Michigan State, Landon Dickerson. Boise State, Elijah Vera Tucker. Duke gets Colby Purcell. Minnesota, Damian Lewis. Tennessee, Joshua Fed Jackson. LSU, Chris Murray. And Iowa State with Matt McCann, I should say. A couple of sophomores there, 86 overall. I guess those, actually three sophomores, 86 overall. Those I think are good picks. Boise State's been a team that has impressed me so far with their rankings, their selections. I think Boise State's probably one of the early front runners, in my opinion, with Justin Fields at quarterback. We'll see how the rest of the draft pans out. We go to the defensive side now, and we start with middle linebackers. Mississippi State goes with Dylan Moses, a 98 overall. Will they have him 1 year or 2 years? We'll have to wait and see. Merlin Robertson, a sophomore at 90, going to Purdue. Purdue's been another team that I've really liked the way they've drafted so far. Joe Bocci going to LSU, a 97 overall. Oregon, Shaq Quarterman. David Woodward to Auburn. Kenneth Murray to Louisville. Evan Weaver going to Georgia. Francis Bernard to Alabama. Michigan State gets Dontavius Jackson. And Iowa State getting Cash Daniel. Maybe that's a little bit of a questionable pick there, in my opinion, because he's a senior and he's just an 89 overall. But I guess Iowa State, they like Cash Daniel, so we'll see how he works out for them. That's 1 through 10 here on our middle linebackers. Moving on to 11 through 20, Ohio State getting Patty Fisher. Arizona State with Jaden Lars would be another young player for this Sun Devil team. Mikael Walker going to USC. Wisconsin gets Colin Schooler. Nebraska with Muhammad Berry. North Carolina gets Momo Sanogo. Duke getting Jacob Phillips. Troy Dye heading to Iowa, and Kel Garrett going to Ole Miss. Boise State, once again, with a really good pick, in my opinion, a freshman, Nakobe Dean, a guy that has a chance to be a superstar for them for many years to come. Let's look now at our final 10 picks for the middle linebackers. We've got Minnesota getting Clay Johnston, senior, 91 overall. Michigan with Jordan Brooks. Florida State, Cooper Edmiston. Boston College getting DeJon Harris. You're looking at 4 seniors there in a row. Oklahoma gets Nate Landman. Tennessee with Errol Thompson. Baylor, Rashard Ashby. Stanford, Logan Wilson. Penn State gets David Reese. And Florida will land Sean Bradley. So some interesting picks there. Again, nothing is really jumping out at me for any of these teams. All juniors and seniors here. You'd think maybe going late in the round you would go for some younger players, but that's how it played out. Let's move on now to the outside linebackers, and Florida getting Micah Parsons. He was almost a unanimous #1 ranked outside linebacker, sophomore, 92 overall already. A really good pick there. Penn State gets Anthony Jennings. Stanford with Michael Pickney. Baylor, Marcel Spears. Tennessee, Mike Rose. Boston College gets Darrell Taylor. Oklahoma, Jahad Woods. Florida State, Calvin Bundage. Michigan, Malik Harrison. And Minnesota with Charles Snowden. And again, the pick here is Micah Parsons. It's no surprise that he went #1 because you got a guy that's already a 92 overall just as a sophomore, so you're going to get him for 2 or 3 years potentially. And that's the clear best pick in my opinion here. But maybe Mike Rose, another sneaky sophomore there. He's already a 90 overall. So keep an eye out for him as well. Boise State once again going with a young player, a true freshman, 84. I think they hit another home run here. Ole Miss, Dax Holyfield, sophomore, 89 overall. That's a good solid pick. Iowa with Blake Lynch, a senior. Duke with Pele Gatoati. I have no idea how to say his name. I'm sorry. North Carolina, Elijah Sullivan. Nebraska, Blake Gallagher. Wisconsin, Isaiah McDuffie. USC, Joshua Kendo. Arizona State, Clavon Chason, very talented player just as a sophomore. And again, who got this pick? Arizona State. I really like the way Arizona State and Boise State, I like some of the players they've been able to get and maybe some of the lower positions. And then TJ Brunson, a really good player there to Ohio State, but he is a senior. Iowa State getting Jonathan Grenard here at number 21. Michigan State gets Jordan Fox. Alabama, Jeffrey McCullough. Georgia, Zach Bond. Louisville, Perry Young. Auburn gets Willie Gay. Oregon, Justin Stranad. LSU, Max Richardson. Purdue, Nate Evans. And I really like this final pick here. Mississippi State getting Owen Pappoe, a true freshman for Auburn, linebacker that is already starting. And so I think he has a chance to grow into a 90-plus overall in the future. So I think that is a very good pick. Nice way to round out the final part of round 4 here. So these were rounds 3 through 4. And we're going to continue to do 2 rounds a day as we complete phase 1 this week here on this channel. You can see the videos at 7 o'clock Eastern time each day. I just want to tell you guys, if you head over to our SEC football channel, we have a live simulation coming up pretty much right when this video goes off at 7:15 Eastern time. It's Alabama versus LSU, of course, the huge game coming up this weekend. Our simulation for that game will be there. If you want to go watch that live and see how it plays out, please check that out again on our SEC channel. You guys can give me your thoughts on some of these draft picks down in the comments below, or in the live chat if you're watching the live premiere. Thanks for watching this video, though, and stay tuned for more. Again, we'll have rounds 4 and 5 coming up tomorrow.